ways to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. And today's edition on this Tuesday's Talk Today is going to be exciting, entertaining, informative, and engaging. Hopefully you'll accept the invitation to join us. Going to start with our friends from Health City. 1 o'clock, we get a chance to talk about what's happening at the Cayman Arts Festival. 1:30, a good friend Tommy at TCE Paint Shop will join us for a bit. And then 2 p.m., we'll wrap it up with another conversation that we hope that you would share with us. So from Red Sky at 1:30 and Tommy at 2, it's all going to be good. Well, it's up to you. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us and the importance of our kidneys. I know some of you, like me, didn't pay attention in biology, and you think, we have kidneys? Do men have kidneys? Well, we're going to find out if we do and what they're for and are they useful? Can we get rid of them? Well, I'm glad that the Chief Business Officer over at Health City, Mr. Shomari Scott, allows us through him and his team and if I can be...
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. You see, you haven't invited me in a while. That's why we were sending out.
Oh, you were waiting for an invitation to come?
Yeah, definitely.
Boy, how did you get here?
But no, it's definitely great to be here as well. Sterling here with you.
Starting afternoon, isn't it?
You know, because last time I think I came, somebody else was here, and I was like, man, this man has so much vacation that
No, it's not vacation. It's paidcation.
Oh, every time I come, he has somebody else. He didn't want to see me, so that's why I stopped coming. But now
so you got the hint.
Yeah. But it's definitely a pleasure to be here. March is actually Kidney Month, and what's very special, you always ask, what's new at Health City? Yeah. We're always looking to fill the gaps in the community here for locals and residents, but also for the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And very shortly, we'll be coming on again for that announcement of the new hospital that we'll have there right in Camana Bay.
Right in West Bay.
Right in West Bay. Right in West Bay. Right in Camana Bay. If you consider that West Bay, then
they probably don't, but we wouldn't need them.
You're from West Bay, so if you tell me that's West Bay, then I'll accept it.
No, man, no.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble, right? But we'll be announcing the new hospital, and a big part of what we're doing in totality with Health City and the announcement of the new hospitals that we're looking forward to April, which will actually be our 10-year anniversary here in the Cayman Islands, that from a nephrology perspective, so a lot of times when we talk about nephrology and a nephrologist, people sometimes mix it up with neurology, which is the brain. So we have with us Dr. Amit, who has, over 15 years of experience in total, but 10 years, a decade of experience with kidney transplants. And he also has done over 200 kidney transplants. And the reason that's important is outside of what we're going to speak about in regards to irregular kidney disease and the such, we have Dr. Amit here because everything is ready from the government side. And there are just a few components left, but we will be able to have kidney transplants very shortly here in the Cayman Islands. And Dr. Amit is one of the main physicians that will be involved in that coming forth for our 10-year anniversary. That's going to be the new addition of what we're going to be bringing to the Cayman Islands, outside of the major hospital as well.
As usual, Shomari, we enjoy the banter, whether we're talking about sports or reminiscing about when we thought we could play. But Dr. Amit, welcome. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Fine.
All right.
Good afternoon.
You know, I've always found that as a student, I liked the classes where there was a bit of levity. A lot of learning would take place during laughter. And then there were those who had to be absolutely serious, quiet as a mouse, and, you know, as attentive. You could hear the chalk on the board. That doesn't work for everybody. But here I'm asking through you, to the listening public, despite all this happening, to appreciate the importance of our health and our kidney health. Because there are some questions I want to ask.
Yes.
And especially as men sometimes, when I'll even use the word urinate. Oh, he said that publicly. You know, there may be a change and we ignore it. Oh, I didn't drink enough water. Probably true. So welcome. Share with us as much as you are willing. Pretend we're students in you know, anatomy class. You know, you're giving a presentation to a bunch of patients. Maybe you're talking to your patient about their kidney health. Help us to be as informed and come away with as much knowledge as possible.
Yeah, thank you. So even the name of the organ that we are going to talk about is kidney, but my specialty is nephrology. That gets confused with other departments. But yes, so what we look into the kidneys are two bean-shaped organs that is on the back of our abdomen, it's just below the rib cages, and they are connected to our bladder and to make urine and get rid of all the toxins in the body. But yeah, you can compare it with some drainage system in your body that gets out of all the toxins through water. But it's not the only function that kidney does. The kidney has a lot of intrinsic functions like balancing your body electrolytes. They have some hormones that make blood for the patients, and they do control the blood pressures and a lot of other things that let other organs to work properly.
Wow. Can I just rewind 1 second? Make sure you said the kidneys do control the blood pressure.
Yes.
All right. If we didn't know, we didn't know. Now we know. Why is that important? How is that? I mean, because blood pressure, we think, oh, that's blood, that's heart, that's something else. But you say, no, kidneys play a role.
Yeah. And a lot of people have conceptions that blood pressure is related to heart, but heart is the after effect of blood pressure. When you have blood pressure for a long time, then your heart enlarges and then they cause problem. But the real cause is kidney. So sometimes the kidney, due to some genetic things that runs in family, your parents might have blood pressure, you might have blood pressure, and that blood pressure usually comes at the age of 30, 40s. But when you find somebody having a high blood pressure at the age of 20 or less, or somebody having a high blood pressure and 50 or more, then that's odd. That's not due to any genetic reason. That's due to something, and most of the time, 95% of times, that happens due to the kidney. Is there any intrinsic problem of the kidney? There is disbalance in the fluid, the water amount, the salt amount, and that leads to the high blood pressure. And some 5% is due to hormones. That is out of discussion. But yes, 95% times when your age is not appropriate for the blood pressure time, so you are absolutely should check for your kidneys.
And thanks for that, Dr. Amit. And for those that are listening, you know, we recognize that issues like diabetes, people are on, you know, going and getting dialysis and different things. We understand the complications, we understand the seriousness. But if I'm listening to you, even from a very early age, we should be concerned about our kidney health.
Yes.
With great respect. Some of us don't go to the physician even when we know we should. We're being told and I hopeful, maybe one of the remain a few times I will continue to say to people, please don't do what I did for the last few years and ignore this thing that just got worse and now I can barely use my shoulder or my hand, right? Don't do that. We do that. Please don't. With that in mind, that young male or female whose parent is taking them for a checkup, sometimes they go there and everything looks good, no questions are asked, nothing is shared. So to 10-year-old or 20-year-old, should the kidney health be something that they be concerned about just generally?
Yes. So first is that why the kidney disease happens. So sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's environmental, sometimes it's lifestyles, like you are obese, you don't exercise much, you take junk foods as salty foods, that leads to your blood pressure and that can lead to your kidney problems. But yes, when you are going for a checkups, so there are only 3 simple checkups that can diagnose kidney disease. It's not it's just a urine test, ultrasound of the kidney, and a kidney function test. That's 3. So majority of the kidney disease can be get detected by these 3 tests only. So if we are going for a health checkup, so we can always include these 3 tests. We can ask our physicians to do that, so we can diagnose it. But because kidney disease is something doesn't have symptom, like in heart you can have angina, you know that there is some pain is happening, that means the heart is a problem. So kidney doesn't produce any pain. The symptoms that kidney produces is very late in the disease. So to pick up early in the disease, we need to have some test, or if you have a background history, like my father has chronic kidney disease, or somebody has diabetes and kidney disease, I'm related to him, I should get checked up. And those factors that I said, because you're obese, you have other problems like heart disease and all, then you should always get checked up. Yes.
All right, we're going to pause and take the break. When we come back, let's talk more about, chronic kidney disease. Let's talk about the idea of, kidney transplants, but the things that we can do and should be looking at to ensure that people are not just aware of it, but we're being proactive in trying to do something about it. All right, I really appreciate Mr. Shomari and the team over at Health City. Hello to Miss Ingrid over there. She's, pushing things along, all your team. So when you come back, kidney disease. Yes. All right, to our listeners, please join us.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us for Health City. The opportunity now to learn more about, in my view, what builds a strong pillar in the society, a strong healthcare system. To Shomari Scott, the Chief Business Officer, together with Dr. Amit, the nephrology and kidney transplant medicine over at Health City. I really appreciate this. I found that as a student, there were certain classes I enjoyed more, maybe because it was quote unquote easier or greater interest. The sciences and the biology in particular was no. But I get to learn, and it's important to realize what you don't know. And our bodies, it's not just that subjective get to or learn about your body. So if I may, as we talk about kidneys and then neuro and nephrology, is nephrology synonymous with kidney? Or is that okay?
Yeah. So we basically look into the kidney diseases
Right.
as a whole, and other organ systems that gets affected by the kidney disease also. Because kidney disease doesn't mean that kidney is only affected. It can make changes in your bone, your nerves, your heart. So all this comes out of the toxins that gets retained in your body when the kidney fails.
Okay.
So we look into that. So if I can go through the diseases stages that we encounter patients, there will be patients who have they are at risk but they don't have kidney disease. So even the physicians has to be aware that those patients who have at risk, how we can protect the kidney. So not giving unnecessary drugs, asking them to lose weight, quit smoking, take less salt diets, and be regular on their lifestyles. So will help a lot. It will slow down the progression of the kidney disease. Once the kidney disease sets in, there are a lot of things that comes in your body. Previously, everybody used to wait and watch till the kidney fails and they go for dialysis or transplant. Nowadays, there are drugs that have come to the market which has shown that they slow the progression of the disease, and you can live with the same kidney even if it is failing on drugs for a longer time. And at certain point, it will come that kidney might fail, that will not sustain your life. That means that you need to have something supplements your bodily function. And there comes the dialysis and the transplant. And dialysis is always available as emergency, but because I have experience, I know it is not that regular in this island, but transplant is way, way better than dialysis, both economically, on the lifestyles, on your the longevity of life. This transplant is always better.
So, Doctor, respectfully, as I listen to you, and I try not to have too much levity, we know, presumably, we only have one heart. Some of us actually should have a heart, other than what, just as a mechanical organ to push water through and the body and stuff. One brain. I think there are two lungs.
Yes.
Two kidneys?
Two kidneys.
Okay. Now, sounds like we have, spare. Do we need two? Can we function without any?
So, very good question. So, yes, when we go for kidney transplant, definitely somebody donates it, and it's a live donation. They give one of their kidney. So, what happens to the other kidney? Why we have two kidneys? So, two kidneys, basically at one point of time, our kidney works for only 40 and 50%. Less 40-50%, they just sleep. And they just will be needed when you have the other part of the kidney just start dysfunctioning. So, like I could have a very severe disease like COVID. My kidney gets affected, but my blood report doesn't show any kidney affected because we have backups. Like your lights go off, there is a generator that gives you light. So that's how the kidney works. So yes, we can still live with one kidney. There are 1 to 2% of population that just born with one kidney. They don't know it. When you do ultrasound, you find, accidentally you have one kidney, but he's fine. So even one kidney is good enough for life. That's how the donation comes. So whenever somebody kidney donates, we know that they are going to be all right for next at least 30 to 40 years. If there is even one kidney, scientifically it is fine.
Okay. And with that sort of, the kidney transplant, person A is given to person B. There has to be some level of compatibility in order for that to be successful.
Yes.
Could we talk a little bit about that if it's okay?
Yes, absolutely. So whenever we gives one kidney to the other, the first that compatibility comes with the blood group. If the blood group is same or it's O, so that's how it is easily taken up. So you don't go for incompatible transplant. You have compatible donors with you. But yes, today's day, even with a different blood group, we could do transplant. There are methods. It's difficult, but it comes with same results. But yes, we do a lot of tests to know that there is matching, and if there is a good match, the kidney in the recipient lasts longer, and that's how we follow both kidney, the recipient and donors for a long time. So that nothing is wrong happening in the new kidney, and the donor is fine with one kidney.
Okay. So Dr. Amit, you had mentioned that I had mentioned that you've done over 200 kidney transplants. So it isn't just that you do the kidney transplant, that's it, patient doesn't see you again.
No, not at all.
What does that process look like after the kidney transplant?
Good question. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. Dr. Amit.
Yes. So that's how I feel a challenge when somebody comes with on dialysis and asks me, "Sir, you will do transplant. What happens there?"
Yeah.
So then I give an example. I call up my transplant patient into my chamber. I identify who is the relative and who is the who is the transplant recipient. You won't even see that he looks like a patient. He looks like a normal human being. When your patients on dialysis, they come in wheelchair, then they doesn't look good. They have wasted their muscles and all. You can easily identify this is a patient. But when you see a transplant patient, we never recognize that it's a patient. He absolutely stays normal. The diets are normal. They do all their work they can do. There is no restriction in physical works. They can run for a marathon. So we used to have a marathon race in our kidney health days because we know that recipient has to stay normal. And we follow up. That follow-up is not that stringent as in like in dialysis patient. We follow up in once in every 3 months, and they keep good unless there is some problem with the new kidney or they have some other diseases. It doesn't bother them for a long time.
Dr. Amit, we've had dialysis patients interviewed and they've shared with us, and my takeaway from what they shared is that they want people to look at their lifestyle, be healthy, look after their kidneys, because when you're on dialysis, it could be such a way that even traveling, even going to family functions within Cayman isn't something that they take for granted. And certain vacations off island isn't something that they can do so easily and the like.
Yes.
And I believe all of them were trying to make an appeal to us. Please take care of your body, but don't ignore your kidneys.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when your kidneys are failing, but you are still on drugs, then also you have a liberty to travel around. But once you are on dialysis, it's difficult. One, that's the body doesn't support a lot of traveling, lot of stress. Second, wherever you go, you have to find a institute where you can get a dialysis done. So that becomes taxing. That becomes very difficult for people to organize. But yes, once you do a transplant, you have all the liberty because you are only medications. You can travel anywhere else. Right. And you have a good life.
So with that in mind, I want to make sure I didn't misunderstand earlier. You said there might not initially be any sort of signs and symptoms prior to chronic kidney disease. You notice something but you're not quite sure. So with that in mind, obviously it's really important to, as those patients would have shared, don't get to be where I am now, because there are people who would say, "Oh, I feel this throbbing," and they point to where we think the kidney is. Is that something, in the absence of signs and symptoms, that's something that may be something, or that just happens to be that person on that day because of something?
Yeah. So kidney pain is, yes, you have a loin pain, so that can radiate towards your penile part, towards the front of your abdomen. So this pain comes only if there is some infection in the kidney or there is a stone that is stuck in the kidney. But this amounts only 2 to 5% of patients who have this kind of kidney disease. So 95% you don't have these symptoms, and you will be shocked to know that the prevalence of kidney disease in general population is 10 to 12%. So every 1 out of 10 is having a kidney disease, he doesn't know. So the only way to know that you just taste your urine, that maybe some protein, there's maybe blood that is leaking, and then you identify, and it's very early stage that you know your disease, then you can go to your doctor and get it treated early in the period. Once it starts setting in to a advanced stage, it's very difficult unless there is some medication for that.
1 in 10 and wouldn't even know, right?
No, would know.
10%.
Yes.
So with that, then, you mentioned kidney stones and some people have them. There's severe pain. Some will have them. A few say no, not too bad. When there are kidney stones, if you've gone to your urologist, you've done the procedure, you have them removed or whatever. Any concerns as to why you have them? And then afterwards, what can you tell us about that in terms of kidney health?
Absolutely. So kidney stones are different types, definitely, but 75% of kidney stones are due to calcium oxalate stones, the kind of kidney stones. So a surgeon just removes the stone. They doesn't look into the real cause of stones, why they forms. So the most important part is water. So if you don't take enough water, so you can look into your pee, just see the color of the pee. If it is white and just light yellow, that means you're drinking enough water. If you're not drinking enough water, so there is no flushing in the kidneys. So they start accumulating these calcium parts and they do make stones. The second most important is salt. So if you're consuming a lot of salt, the sodium itself binds to calcium and cause more stones. And the third important is if your urine is a lot of acidic, so your drinks are acidic, your food contains a lot of oxalates, they do lead to calcium stone formation. And the last one is vitamin D. So we don't check nowadays. Yes, health checkups do check vitamin D. If your vitamin D is low, so there is a hormone inside the body called parathyroid hormone that increases and do causes calcium stones. So these are few causes. If you do look into them very closely, you advise the diet advice to the patient is proper. They should not have recurrence of stones once you remove it.
And vitamin D, if that's low,
yes,
could be something.
Could be something.
Right.
Yeah, you should look into.
Before we take the next break, if I may ask, as you reference about the urine, and we look at it, should be clear. Is it how does it? What about a presence of blood in the urine?
Yes. So presence of blood in the urine could be just because of infection, because of any stone in the system. But the most important and dangerous is if it is coming inside of the kidney, that is called some intrinsic kidney disease. And it's a medical term is called glomerular disease. And they are more dangerous than if you have a stone, because stone can be treated, removed, and after that hardly any kidney disease progresses. But glomerular disease is something, if you don't treat in right time, it progresses maybe slowly, maybe at some point of time it will faster. So identifying only blood in the urine, you just need to investigate if it is the glomerular disease. If we are getting it early, that's a life saving for the patient.
Shomari, I mean, we sit there and we think that we're doing right by our bodies. Dr. Amit talked about smoking and lifestyle, but sometimes we don't even realize that 1 in 10, 7 more assembled here, 1 in 10 statistically.
Exactly, and the importance of drinking the right amount of water per day, as well as your salt intake. So a lot of what doctors constantly tell you, less salt, drink more water, have a balanced diet, exercise more. All of that would come into it. But I just wanted, we have to go to break now.
When Susan returns with the chocolate, we'll take a break.
Okay, I heard you say that. But just to mention, Dr. Amit, I think this is why checkups are that important. So when you come in for either your annual checkup or if they tell you every 2 years based on your signs before, one of the tests would check for kidney function and such, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, before we take the break, if I may just ask, I think kidney, I think bladder and urethra and all these things. Like, again, I didn't pay attention to biology. Without getting off topic, if it is, then you put me back on. Kidney and bladder, should we look at them together? Are they separate in terms of kidney health? Does the bladder play a role?
Yeah. So as a nephrologist, you look into the kidney, but when we have to see the bladder because it's the outlet part of the kidney. If that is blocked, then the kidney gets affected. Yeah. So you can't see kidney as a solidity. So you have to see both as
Okay.
See, smarter than you look.
You know what? I think that's a compliment from you. I take it as no. I there's a laughter, but I think many times we as people, especially men, I can't speak for. We don't ask questions. We don't pay attention. We ignore things, and here we have a chance to learn, and I really, really appreciate this. Anybody listening, here's an opportunity to learn. When we return from the break, we get a chance to continue the conversation with Dr. Amit. Please stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered. From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
You asked, and we listened. The Water Authority's new customer portal is here. The new and improved platform lets you manage your account easily and more independently from a user-friendly design. With the new customer portal, you can view and pay your bill online, schedule bill payments, make payments on multiple accounts at one time, manage tenant and landlord accounts, view your consumption history, make service requests, and so much more. The service is also available to tenant accounts. Visit www.waterauthority.ky to sign up today.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us, and to Shomari Scott and Dr. Amit over at Health City, the consultant nephrology and kidney transplant medicine. Dr. Amit, thanks very much for helping me at least, and I hopefully it doesn't only serve for my own edification, but others who are listening to appreciate it, even those who may have found themselves in the early stages of being concerned about their kidneys because of something the physician may have said, or have, in the process of having a family member themselves, undergoing dialysis. And I share that just thinking about visiting people and understanding, where they are and what they have shared, and wishing that they had saw it early and could avoid it. So with that, are there prevention and treatment? I mean, can we avoid, mitigate chronic kidney disease?
Yes. So avoidance is not in our hand. It is what the bodily function is. Some things is absolutely can be avoidable, like that smoking is related to kidney cancer. So I could have just, but it doesn't mean that those who don't smoke don't have kidney cancers. That's okay. But I can lessen the risk of what I am going to get. So yes, but I'll say ki more of talking and realizing that when is kidney going to affect in the very initial part, like I'm being a diabetic patient, I may be in a follow-up with some physician, so where I can get the test done that I know that my kidney is going to get affected, and what there are drugs that has come up now that if I can take, they can be preventing from going to the next stage. So that is more, because something is unavoidable, like a genetic disease, like cyst in the kidney, that is unavoidable. But once I get it, what is there I can do so it doesn't go to the next stage. That's more important.
Shomari, you have worked in many very important roles, not just from title and function, but its impact. Here at Health City, you, like me, probably getting an education in healthcare. With respect, publicly, forgive me, we know sometimes, but we don't do. Listening to Dr. Amit right now, I'm thinking, hey, what about our sodas? How much coffee and other things that we're consuming? Other things that are maybe sugary, and do they affect us? From your perspective, as we speak to men in this the wider community, what would you say in terms of kidney health?
No, definitely. So, I mean, if you don't have, us as men, I guess, because women typically, as they age, have to get yearly checkups for certain reasons and otherwise. But us as men, once we hit, age of being mature, we really don't have to go back to your pediatric physician, and therefore we don't transition as well into adulthood having that doctor that our mother would have forced us to go to when we were younger. So a lot of times, yes, we'll have family members, but we ourselves, if they're going to doctors, we ourselves may not be going to doctors. So the first thing I would say is get that physician and or that family physician or that GP. And if you're not going to get that, then definitely going to get your yearly checkups, just so that you can be aware of your bodily function, what's happening, know your numbers, and they will help you to understand what you need to do to keep on the right track, or to actually move from a place where you may not be living the healthiest, and you may start to see some of these numbers increase where I can talk about Dr. Suki, right? Dr. Sukian has been my physician for many years. And, every year she would see me at a function and say, Shomari, I haven't seen you. You better call me. I'm going to call you. And she would. Is
that your impression of her, man?
She would make sure to force me to actually get in contact with her, which I appreciate, to be able to go and get. And she would say, listen, this number here is a little bit too high. If you don't get this under control by next 6 months, you come back and see me, here's what I need you to do. We're going to have to look to see what else needs to happen. Right. So, luckily I was able to listen and do, and she's like, oh, it's perfect now, we're going to keep tabs on it moving forward. So obviously I work at Health City, and I also see physicians at Health City, but Dr. Suki had been my doctor for many years, and she's still great working with the physicians I have at Health City if there are any tests and such that I would need as well. But definitely have your yearly checkups and go and see your GP and or that first line of physician that you would need to make sure you're doing everything possible, because at the end of the day, many of us as men are either the breadwinners and or you have children, right? And you want to be here for them, and you also want to be healthy enough later in life that you can enjoy your children and your children's children. Right. And if that is important to you, then bite the bullet. I know us as men, we're like, unless it's falling off, we don't want to go to the hospital, but definitely get your regular checkups. And we're going to leave shortly, and the team will kill me if I don't mention it. Catwalk for Cancer.
Coming to that.
Catwalk for Cancer, May 7th, just to mention that. Once again, Health City is working with different charitable organizations throughout Cayman, and one is the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, and we have the Catwalk for Cancer, March 7th. It's at 6:30 p.m. on the Paseo, Camana Bay. You can purchase tickets at Sand Angels at Camana Bay, or the Cayman Islands Cancer Society itself in its office, or online. Tickets are $75 each. All of the proceeds go to the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, that do a great job helping where there are certain gaps that may exist from insurance or otherwise, and even from an informational perspective, to help all of the oncology cancer patients that are going through certain ailments. And obviously we have our radiotherapy, and we have the full gamut now here with Health City, and even more so when we get the new hospital that will be ready in May, up and running. So we just also want to support that great organization that helps so many people.
Indeed. Now, Dr. we recognize that the month of March is Kidney Month, and
yes,
we see the collaborative approach, as Shomari shared, across all the healthcare providers. But I think sometimes us as individuals, without picking on men, I think Shomari eloquently emphasized, we ignore it. I mean, of all the things that he said, the takeaway for me is, let's be good examples to our brothers and to our children that we're looking after our health. But if the issues with our kidneys don't present till sometime down the road when there's a problem, I think our mothers always told us, prevention, ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
That's right.
So talk to us, Dr. Amit, as we close out the discussion. What would you want us to be reminded?
The next month, the second Thursday of every March, we celebrate Kidney Week, and this time the theme is Kidney Health for All. And equitable access to the medical service, and also to have rational prescriptions, national medications. So what do we mean by equitable access? That means there should be awareness among the people that yes, kidney health is that much prevalent. We need to address it, we need to understand it and check it before it goes to a more serious level. Second is that the government also puts up steps, that we as an institute also puts up steps to make the awareness and make it more affordable for the patients. But most of the time the question comes, is it affordable? Can I do these things? And third is that the importance of the medications, that should not be any restless medications for these patients. They should not be burdened with a lot of medications when they have the kidney disease. And that's the awareness for the physicians also. So government, patients and physicians, everybody on the same page, and this is the theme of this month, and we will be definitely going to arrange and collaborate with all the physicians and the nephrologists that are in the island, so that we spread this message to everyone.
I'm prayerful that as we listen, we'll be very purposeful in our approach to our kidney health, and as much as I try to be a little bit jovial, I was only to hope people understand that we take so much for granted, and our kidneys, they're there. But just because we got two of them, doesn't mean that we should abuse them, right?
Yes.
And the good news is, in the very near future, for those individuals that have and would need lifelong dialysis, there's going to be an option now whereby you can have better quality of life for the rest of your life due to transplant and having experts like Dr. Amit that is here with our city. So this is that 10th anniversary gift that we're going to be giving to the country, whereby we'll be able to do, starting with kidney transplants, and we'll start to talk about some of the other transplants, with liver and heart at a later date. And obviously you were even mentioning, speaking about the fact of donating your body to science, or having transplants through using of organs from persons who have recently been deceased. And we'll be able to speak about that and how we're going to have to go about that as a collective Caribbean, so that with the first English-speaking transplant center in the Caribbean, how we work with other countries to make sure that we help, those individuals in need in Cayman as well as those in need in other countries by collectively putting that together.
Well, this is it, man. As people consider, I always think that, as my mother would say, if you're giving someone something, give them the very best. So without it being insensitive, if we find ourselves in a position where our kidneys can benefit somebody else, let's make sure we've taken care of them so that the recipient has a good product to work with. Right, Dr. Amit?
Yeah, definitely. So deceased donor transplant is going to come up once we have a successful live donor transplant in Thailand. I hope it will be very useful for these people.
Indeed. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Thank you for coming on board.
And for the kidneys, just to clarify, you further clarify, you can have a donor that obviously is alive and lives well afterwards as well, for the kidney portion.
For the kidney portion.
Yes.
And again, thank you for clarifying that, or emphasizing that.
Yes.
And as I said, take care of our kidneys in case we have to donate it to someone. It'll be a good one to donate.
Definitely.
We take so much for granted, but we're mindful that we have good information that is timely and accurate and credible. So, Dr. Amit, thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm playing in the over 40 basketball. I know you're only a year over 40, so let me know when you're ready.
When I get there, my friend. When I get there. Okay, Susan says
we need to play that game. You've been promising me that we're going to get on the court. So
we can get on the court, man. Don't worry about it, man. I can school you too. All right, I'm gonna pause to take a break. With this, I need Shomari can find his way back to stand. I can stay in the studio.
I'll find it.
Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Today it's Lukia,
The Heritage Showcase taking place now until 2 p.m. at the National Museum on the waterfront in Georgetown. You have 1 hour to get some traditional Caymanian-style food and experience traditional thatch plaiting by local artisans. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines in news elsewhere. Prince William unexpectedly pulled out of attending the memorial service for the late former King Constantine of Greece, where he had been due to give a reading. Kensington Palace said this was because of a personal matter. Queen Camilla led members of the royal family at the service at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. The king, who was being treated for cancer, was also unable to attend the service. And Elon Musk has stepped in to foot the bill for 4,000 mini pies after his firm cancelled an order at the last minute. Giving Pies Bakery in San Jose was left $2,000 out of pocket when Tesla backed out just before delivery. But when the small business took to social media to complain, Mr. Musk said he would stump up the dough. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA's Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Royal James Anderson, 1923-1991.
Royal Anderson was born in Jamaica and came to Grand Cayman at the age of 3 with his parents, Isaiah and Oriana Anderson. He served in the Home Guard during World War II and spent some time at sea with national bulk carriers. In 1950, he married Garnell Frederick, with whom he had 7 children. He joined the Cayman Islands Police Force in 1953 as a constable and later rose to the position of inspector. Royal retired in 1976 and a year later was given the Colonial Police Long Service and Good Conduct Award. He joined Cayman Airways as store inventory controller, moving after 2 years to the Security Guards Force at Owen Roberts Airport, where he remained until 1984. He then was hired as security guard at the Government Administration Building, where he worked until his death. He loved to sing and was an active member of the Bordentown United Church.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained entertain, whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid. You will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
At Branso's Home Gallery, we believe in love at first sight, especially when it comes to closets. And we're spreading the love by offering 15% off on custom closets throughout the month of February. Let our experts design the closet you've been dreaming of, a functional space that's perfect for you. Save 15% on all custom closets this February at Brand Source Custom Closets. You dream it, we'll design it and build it. Visit Branso's Home Gallery today for a free in-store consultation. Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Phone 623-6774.
You don't sound too good there, Bobo.
Yeah, you know how it is. With the kids back in school, every other week they coming out with something, and then I catch it.
Sound like it gets you. But for real, brother, flu season is here and COVID is still around. You gotta stock up on things like medicine, vitamins, and minerals for you and the kids. You know what they say, prevention is better than cure.
At ValueMed, our pharmacists can help manage flu symptoms and provide guidance on vitamins and minerals to best support you and your family's overall health. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown, or WhatsApp your questions and prescription refills to ValueMed on Walkers Road at 926-1662, or WhatsApp ValueMed in Boddentown at 916-5511. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. You know, this is what makes my work, I don't want to call it a job, so rewarding. To be each day have an opportunity to learn, and through the learning, there's a little bit of laughter. So, to Mr. Glenn and Anga and the team over at Cayman Arts Festival, as you celebrate your 20th, you know, thanks very much for being a part of it. I'm excited, not just to be remembered, but to be included. So it's good stuff. Trio Bananas, huh, Glenn?
Yes. Good afternoon, listeners. Thank you, Radio Cayman, for having us on your show yet again. It's nice to have this level of support for the Cayman Arts Festival as we celebrate our 20th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And just to remind the callers out there, Radio Cayman has been there from day one for those 20 years, and we really appreciate the support we've got from Radio Cayman. Well, the reason why we're here today is because we are extremely excited to have one of the most exciting groups on the world stage at the moment, in these three siblings who are just absolutely phenomenal. They're the Trio Bananas, and you can tell from the last name, They are Christine Balanas, we've got Margarita Balanas, and now their brother Roberts. Now, some of you may remember back in 2020 when we had the festival, we had the sisters here doing phenomenal things. They actually played here in the studio, which is amazing. And it just shows you how spontaneous they are. You know, if they have their instruments there, they will play. It reminds you of a time when they just played a concert at Cayman Bay, actually, and we were out post-concert just chilling, relaxing, and listening to some wonderful music. And I can't remember who the guitarist singer was, but he was there seeing these two wonderful ladies with their instruments and saying they were just relaxing. And he said to them, "Oh, you're proper musicians. I'm just a street musician." And they're like, "Yeah, we're street musicians too." And he couldn't believe it when they said, "Oh yeah, we'll take our instruments and play something for you." And they took it out and they ripped right into this amazing Vivaldi. And people were like, "Oh my gosh," you know. And what amazed me was how spontaneous they are, how willing they are to share their wonderful talents with anybody who is willing to listen to them. So they're back here by popular demand, and we're very excited that they're going to be able to tell you a little bit about what they're going to be doing now they're here in Cayman. But they are here for the entire week, and they'll be working with our youth camerata as well as preparing for their own show. But the great thing again is this is like no other trio that you've probably ever heard before. They do some of their own arrangements, they do some incredible stuff, and they are super duper talented.
Well, you know what? That's why Glenn is here. You know, my job is now done. But he is correct. I mean, it was great fun the last time, and as he said, I was thinking, you know, how instruments will play. Music is, it's not just invigorating. It can be relaxing. It's not just entertaining and educational and informative. Music speaks to us in a way that perhaps only food can. You know, food may nourish, you know, the body, but music fills the soul.
Exactly.
Exactly, right?
Language everybody understands, I think, classical music. And music in general. You don't need to know it to feel it.
Yes.
That's it. And even the most sedate, somber, you know, and serious the person, even them, you see them have a little twitch, particularly the beat comes on. It resonates with us in a surreal way. Tell us about, you know, how, because last time it was just the two of you, now you brought your chaperone around to make sure that there's a sense of safety.
Yes, we have actually a brother with us today, Robert,
hello.
who's done special arrangements for this year's festival, so he can tell more.
We're very excited to work with the young musicians, and actually after this radio show we are going straight to work with them, so we're thrilled and can't wait to see how they've grown.
Yes, we've created special arrangements of some pop songs. We wanted to really involve everyone, both the audience and the kids, to play songs that they've maybe heard on the radio, and now they can have a crack at playing them as well. And we'll be rehearsing them from now. And also the concerts will include program that we've played together, the three of us, the two of us, also solo things, some electric violin, and it'll be a big combination of things.
You know, sometimes when we see like professions, if the mother is a physician, chances are one of the children might be. Should I say more?
No, I think, we are very lucky to have our parents who are not classical musicians.
Wow.
No, I think I see sometimes families who have, you know, because they know too much and they want to help their children and they want to do their best, and I think they interfere too much. And what in our case was that our parents trusted the teachers and they let us, you know, grow in our own way, and they made us explore all sorts of arts, including dance and singing and visual arts, and we were not forced in one area, but we somehow, I think, because
You were forced.
I was forced. No, I'm joking. No, I think also because music, and classical music especially, it's an international language. I think if we stayed in Latvia and did Latvian folk songs or folk dancing, that would, you know, limit maybe our ability, for example, to come here to the Cayman Arts Festival. But maybe, you know, one day. And and our parents, they sacrificed a lot for us, and we come from a small town in Latvia. And what was great about Latvia, and still is that education is free, and classical music also education is free. and so
so it's accessible for everyone. And
regardless of your background or financial status.
See?
And in a way, babysitting was more expensive than sending to music school.
Okay.
Because we stayed, like, I remember from on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was after school, normal school, I would just live in the music school, and my teacher would be next room and just come back and check, practice this bit, and then close the door and go teach the next student, and she can listen if I'm practicing or not, and then she would come back and say, practice this bit, and she was like my second mom. Yeah,
That's impressive.
You know, and thank you for sharing that, because it's something that we are probably in a wider society don't appreciate. We joke and jest earlier, and then obviously some of the listeners going, what are the inside jokes? Well, come to the concert, you may get a glimpse. But the idea that if the community, or in the case the country, if there is an investment, it's not just babysitting, it's developing. And you're creating something. You were here, we're laughing, we'll be able to share through, I guess, a mutual interest in music. It takes us places.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're basically growing in a community. You know, musicians, we share the same love for music, and it's already planted from very early age.
Roberta, if I may, to you, as you arrange, as you teach, as you see a student, sometimes like the parent, like the teacher, every day, you don't always recognize the growth, and especially you, the student, but someone who may see the person every so often. They can see the phenomenal growth. Speak to that so that we appreciate that. Every incremental step gets you closer to perfection.
Yeah, well, I think it's all about consistency and kind of having a real kind of schedule and structure in your education. And I think that's what we also had growing up, and very consistent lessons. I think my teacher had to catch me out when I was playing football. He was like, Robert, you're having a lesson now. And so I would have a lesson almost every other day, and it was really like a dedicated pedagogue, and that really helped as well.
I certainly want to recognize that we should have had an hour for a discussion, but we only got less than 13 minutes. But sometimes, as the parent, and perhaps even as the society, we force our children in certain areas. I mean, then they have to choose between, they're going to play football or they're going to play another sport. But if they do this, they can't do that in their course. How do we balance that? How do we make sure that the child is as developed as possible, is introduced to as much as possible, is nurtured, is fulfilled?
I think it's healthy for a musician to play football and for a footballer to play an instrument. I think it benefits each other, and I think the more skills, the more areas you're interested in, it just helps you be a well-rounded person, I guess.
If it's not too personal, let me ask you, because sometimes it's changed, but there was a time when if you were into sports, you couldn't be smart. That was the perception, right? And if you were smart, you didn't do sports. Really? And
actually, our mom is a sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Careful there. So our mom, she had higher education in sports. She did lots of
high athletics and shooting, target shooting. She's one of the best in Latvia.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know?
I had no clue.
Years ago,
like
before she had
Watch out.
That's impressive.
Yeah. No, but I think also it's important to, for children early on to participate in competitions or some things where you get the reward. I think for us it was important that, there is a result, you get appreciated for what you do. I mean, of course you have to be all-around person. I think we had a lot of activities, I think, in school, because we had the normal school plus music, and it included, I think, overall education. We were not sheltered from that. We were not put away like, fragile flowers that you only play violin, you don't have friends, you don't go party, and their balance is,
We always had little goals. I mean, whether it was a competition or a concert, so we always had to work towards something. I think it's very motivating.
Yeah, and then you have free time as well, you can take a couple of weeks off or something. It was not, as bad.
I think it's remarkable testimony they're sharing with us on radio today, because you would look at them and think that they were a product of a system that forced them to work.
No, I wouldn't.
Because of the way they play.
Yes.
When you hear them play at the level of the skills, the level of skill that they've been able to achieve. Of course, and I can see it's been self-motivated, but all three of them reaching such a high level suggests to me that the system actually does work.
It does, yeah.
You know, and they have a very similar outlook in terms of the values that, you know, how important it is to let the child explore for themselves, and they don't parents don't interfere as much. So I'm taking notes, don't worry.
I'm with you, but I actually think, you know, cast back to our earlier discussion some years back, and I didn't realize it was, you know, that long ago. You'd only seen it just recently. But like you taking notes, and it reminds me of what one of my sisters shared. You can't be a lazy parent. You have to be involved. You have to ensure that the child is safe, but has the opportunity. And from what you shared, you know, my perception is here are athletic individuals, full of life. I'm careful how I say this because people have the wrong connotation, but free-spirited. I would translate that to be independent-minded and people who know who they want, but also with a great sort of testament to your parents, to your mother. Hey, I'm setting the bar high in my own thing. You now can see that it's possible. And okay, we know the girls are always better than the boys, but Robert, it does the same for you. It motivates you to excel.
Yeah, I mean
to achieve.
Yeah, and also for each of us individually, we do very kind of different things musically. Also, Margaret is now conducting, and she's assistant conductor in Zurich, Donhall Orchestra, and Christine is doing all the big concertos all over the world. And so I've sort of gone also down the route of crossover and more popular music and arranging that for the violin, because there isn't enough interaction between the two. I think it's often quite sheltered. Yeah. So, and that's what I'm also bringing here for the Camerata.
All right. Can I ask you about that? Because as I've shared with Glenn and Marius, you know, there is a perception. It may be the world over, but I look at it from the Cayman context. We see certain music, and we have this connotation, oftentimes ill-conceived. And when it comes to classical music, there's a way you dress, both as the performer and as a spectator. Classical music is here, and it can't be, and as you shared, you're taking the pop music, the ones that we would know, and you're putting it. I said this to Glenn, that we both admire earlier up here, you know, on the steel pan, but he's taking it, and it was the first time I saw it in a light that said, wow, here's a classical piece. It's recognizable, but it's being done on the steel pan. And then Miss Cardington we came across, and she did it. I thought, wow. So with that in mind, as we talk about, you know, the event coming up, you're using the popular music and you're putting it with the violin. I mean, what does that do? Yeah.
No, I think it's taking violin out of the classical context and just looking at it as a kind of a musical tool and tool of expression. Yeah. And I don't know, I think it's really healthy and useful, and it can be tricky if you're in a sort of a system and you're just playing in orchestra or classical music or conservatory. It can be very sort of you're on the tracks and you have these certain tasks and you don't have to necessarily think. so it really frees you if you have to suddenly play a pop song or a rock song. You need a completely different sound. You need to try and emulate the voice, or you need to forget what you've learned, and there's maybe no music that's written down, so you have to really play by ear, and that's
it reminds me of the country song. If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band, right? And that's the thing, when you see an instrument like the violin, for instance, there's this perception of how the bow is held and how the fingers will move across. And then you take someone like Charles Daniels and, you know, the beard, and he's rubbing it across. Even though we call the fiddle and the violin one and the same. But the cello, now I'll be careful because I don't want to say it's the sexiest of instrument, but there's something there's just something about it, right? And you can take the violin quickly to carry it carefully and move it. The cello takes a little bit more effort to move it from space to space, but when it's
well, cello requires an extra seat to come to Cayman.
On the flight. Yeah,
I was just but even transport. So tell us about, you know, performing with the cello.
I mean, I grew up with the cello, so to me it just feels like an extension of me. And the cello, I think, resonates more. I mean, I'll say more to people. My sister and brother are frowning now. Because the register of the sound is closer to the human voice. And and also it's grounded. You know, it has spike
Yeah.
in the floor, so I feel somehow that helps the connection. Yeah.
Right. So, you agree? I mean,
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Of
And she didn't
course.
kick her either.
Yeah, she kicked me. Yeah, she kicked me. I agree.
No, but there is, two instruments that share similarities. I like how you share this grounded. There's that piece that almost, my friends who are electrical engineers would say, it's physical underground, and it's, but then
With the violin, you're more portable.
yeah.
Yes.
But here is the violin, and from the ubiquitous violinist in the subway, with a hat in hand, to the person on the world stage who commands global audiences.
I mean, violin is more, I think, social instrument, I would say, because, they used to make these pochettes, which you just pull out, even smaller violin, and then you can just play anywhere. You just pull your bow and violin out, and you can just, create a little party wherever you go. That's my dream, eventually.
Oh, well, I can
But
see
I
it.
love having my violin with me everywhere. And Margot also brings her cello, but that takes a bit more longer.
Yeah.
But still, wherever we go, we love making music, and we meet a lot of friends, and we used to busk as well, and actually that's how we met Glenn.
That's how I met these two lovely ladies. They were 11 years ago. I bumped into them at Covent Garden Station for the first time. I'd never seen them before, never heard them play before.
Yeah.
My wife and I were walking around, and I heard them, and I thought, these aren't your typical buskers. These are accomplished, highly accomplished musicians. And I walked up to them during one of their breaks, and I said, "Are you studying at one of the colleges of music here in London?" And they said, "Yes, we are, Royal Academy of Music." I'm like, yes, I was right,
Because you were also from Royal Academy.
Because I was there as well. So I knew instantly, that what they do is just on a completely different level. And so I wanted to put what Roberts was talking about in context. And he's a bit too modest to say, but he created one of these he does all these amazing arrangements, and one of them he did of Elton John's "I'm Still Standing." Okay. And he put it on Facebook. And Elton John caught sight of it and called him up and said, "That is," and I saw his message on either Instagram or Facebook, how impressed he was of the arrangement of his own music. And I thought, oh my goodness, Elton John is calling you up, means you're doing something right, It's quite an endorsement if you ask me. So I'm very excited that when they came last time, they said, "Oh, Roberts has got to come to Cayman. He's perfect for these kids. The kids are going to love him. He's very cool when he plays. The music he plays is
Your
really
sister
cool."
said that about you?
Yeah.
It was
They're an incredible trio. And I'm just saying this because I know their concert on Friday sold out, but on Thursday you get to hear them if you are able to get your ticket quickly enough to come on Thursday for the concert. It's going to be phenomenal at John Gray High School in their performance hall. But one thing I really appreciate about them sharing their different stories is the fact that they're finding their own path. They've been allowed to create their own paths within this very, very busy classical industry, classical music industry. And they're wonderful people, extremely amazing communicators as well. And I always say I'm one of their biggest fans because of what they represent and what they're able to do.
Well, second biggest, I mean.
Yeah. So this is really a dream come true to see them part of our 20th anniversary celebrations, because they're very busy and in very much demand globally right now. So guys, come on Thursday if you don't want to be told you missed something amazing.
You know what I'm hearing you say as well, Glenn? You said that the concert for Friday is sold out.
Yes.
I have tickets, so I can auction them off to the highest bidder. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes,
I have 2 tickets, front row, backstage access pass.
Yes, of course.
Start the bidding at 100,000 per ticket.
Sure.
All in favor, you check me after. And that's 100,000 Cayman Brack dollars, okay?
Yes.
Pretty good.
No, I only said the joke that I think we have probably on the soul how wonderful it is to be in the presence of not just 3 accomplished, gifted musicians, but people who you can see are not just great humility, great talent, great discipline, but such passion and friendliness that, as I look at these, had I not known, now you're trained, you'd recognize, the musical. For me, I look at these 3 individuals and even the last time. These are free-spirited, independent thinkers who will conquer the world in their own right. And a rebuttal to hear that you've taken pop music and transformed it in such a way that the likes of Elton John would reach out and say, yo, you want to come over and have a jam session?
It's amazing.
It's amazing, right?
Millions of views as well.
Yeah.
All three of them.
Yeah.
You see one of them, 4 million views. I said, sorry, Vivaldi, 4 million views. Exactly. And when this guy put something out, one of his arrangements, 600,000 just in a couple of days, So it's really remarkable. People should come out and see what the big fuss is about.
Right. So Thursday night, is it a John Gray performing? I want to make sure I get it correct.
Performance Hall, John Gray High School.
The high school, wonderful
It
facility.
starts at 7 o'clock, and you will not, I promise you, you'll be amazed. And again, you get to also hear our youth orchestra, whom they'll be working with and inspiring no bounds. So yeah, that's kind of what's on the cards for the Cayman Arts Festival. We're very thankful to all those who have chosen to come out and support us as well. But again, this is an event not to be missed. So mark your calendars and buy your tickets now to avoid disappointment.
And it's not something I say because I'm paid. Something that I honestly believe. It's truly an honor to sit and facilitate. But when I can, meet with people like you in your own right, with the greatest respect to your own respective individual talents, to hear you speak of your parents, your mother in particular, reminds me as parents of our role, of the example we have to set, of the willingness to continue to make that sacrifice, because we see not just the success, but the appreciation. And through you, wonderful ambassadors for children, but a true testament to parents who, as my sister would share, you can't be a lazy parent. You got to be invested and involved and engaged in your children's life and to trust them. They'll find a way. You just be there to nurture them. So, to parents everywhere, thank you for being good children.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. But thanks. As we close the discussion, please enjoy your stay here with us. Glenn, I'll see you, God's willing, on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Any good luck on Friday as well?
On Friday, absolutely. I'll be front row.
Okay, so the bidding for those tickets now are $200, $200,000 per ticket, okay? It was a pleasure,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. To our listeners, stay tuned. When we return, I got another segment with more information. Please stay tuned.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Radio Cayman, the forum of the people. Join me, Art Connor, on For the Record on Radio Cayman. We put the tough questions to government officials, independents, and opposition members of our parliament. And from time to time, we revisit our storied past. Tune in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Reach out to us on 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. WhatsApp us 925-3261 or email talktooc@gmail.com. Your voice matters.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. And if you see a resounding theme of today's show, well, it's all about highlighting and showcasing the wonderful people and events that take place. And now we have the honor, once again, it's been a long time to have the good company of Miss Cassandra Shea. Welcome. Good to see you again.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
You know, there's something spectacular about the Cayman community, and in particular, the increase in willingness, awareness, and desire for us as a community to look at our creatives and to appreciate that, like everything and anything, if we invest seriously and sincerely, we can not only see the success as measured, you know, from the perspective of the person's accomplishment, but how the bar, you know, the social bar is raised within our country.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited, man. Cayman Arts Festival, we were chatting with earlier, and now Red Sky at Night.
Absolutely.
Oh,
it's
awesome.
Good. It's going to be exciting. So Red Sky Nights this Saturday. It's going to be from 4 p.m. to 11. Adults are $10, and then kids 12 and over are $5. And then if they're 2 and under, then they are free.
Yeah. And the appreciation that I think we can have for events like Red Sky at Night, from the food and the music to the stages, you know, the villages, the little sections where you go and over here there's some poetry. You know, there may not be the potter over here, but there may be a public speaking. There's so much that can happen in a setting like that.
Absolutely. So we're going to have over 50 different artisans, artists, vendors, and entertainers. So we have 3 different stages. We've got the Caymanian Village with a lot of, you know, traditional Caymanian experiences and demonstrations. So we've got the Catboat Club. There's going to be a raffle for a free ride, and that's going to be free to the public. And then we have we have a chit-chat corner. We've got sand backing. We've got smoke pots. So that's all going to be there in the Caymanian Village. And then we've got a lot of entertainers in the Hartwell Theatre. A lot of them are actual partnerships or grantees of CNCF, the Cultural Foundation. And then the main stage is going to have a lot of our local artists. So we've got Fifth Division, Madame Narosa, Heat, Rico Rolando. So we've got so many entertainment facilities on the day of.
And many of the performers, they'll be recognizable names, either as individuals or groups. But then there may be some that may be making their debut or may have only had a few other performances. And here is that opportunity to be showcased again.
Yeah, we've got Phoenix Sings. I know that we've heard he's an upcoming star in the community, and we're excited to see him in the Harkwell Theater on Saturday. So that's going to be exciting to be able to facilitate that foundation for him to be able to share a little bit more with the festival.
And for those who know, we had Phoenix on before. His dad, Ray, works with us.
Right.
I think something that Ray and I, as many would, in the Cayman context, there are greater opportunities. It's more immediate, more accessible.
Right.
And you have a more willing, understanding, accommodating, encouraging audience. We may take that for granted in a population, just for round numbers, of 100,000 relative to, say, populations of maybe 100 million, or maybe, perhaps 200, or even maybe just 1 million. You can get lost in the shuffle, in the crowd. You may not even know, which direction is north. In Cayman, how do we get more of us to see that, from the business to the education to other tuition to sports to the arts, what we have here and how we can celebrate and be a part of it?
That's absolutely right. I mean, of course, the unique thing about Cayman is the accessibility to be able to go to these events and speak one-on-one with these nonprofit organizations that are interested and excited about preserving, cultural identity, heritage, story, and arts in general. So we've got, we have yearly grants and grantees that we reach out to and that we accept applications from. We've got our own What Happening program that's in the summertime that starts with our local playwrights. And then we've got, of course, Gimme Story, and Red Sky Night's just one of those foundations to be able to amplify our voice and have local artists have that outlet to be seen and to be heard as well.
And as you just quickly listed some of those, there's something that may resonate with almost everyone,
right? And
an opportunity. I think the poetry, for instance, increasingly, I think we have a much more of an appreciation for it, and whatever perception we may have, we can see that within our own. I didn't learn this until much later in my life. My mother used to write poetry and short stories, but when you're born in the 30s and you're born in a space that came on, you're born as a woman, there probably weren't many opportunities beyond our shores and beyond what you did. So now that we are 100, she shouldn't hear me say 100 years later, almost.
You're aging her.
But do the math, almost. I'm rounding up, okay? Right. Look at how much, we've accomplished, how many opportunities we have afforded to our people.
Yeah.
But how much more there is possible. And this is exciting for us. I mean, our people can do so much.
Right. And if they come out to these events, they can also see that we have monthly shows. We have Flowetry, which is an open mic night for poets and for artists to come on a monthly basis to our studio theater at CNCF, which is on the Harkwell grounds. And not a lot of people actually know about our smaller studio space.
Yeah. Right in the back, right?
Right in the back. And people can rent it. And if they wanted to have their own opportunity to showcase their talents, we are always willing to partner and work with our community on ways to amplify that.
Right. I want to, after the break in a few minutes, when we come back, to talk more about the Red Sky and have you emphasize. But you just shared something, and I wonder to what extent we who live here, and it would seem the longer we've been here, whether that is going back generations or just decades, the more I want to be mindful of how I say it. But I say it because of a conversation I had earlier. The more we're willing to just take it for granted. It was said much more eloquently and forcibly, but we see it, that's the beach, I'll get there tomorrow. Oh, that's a poetry night and open mic.
Right, brushing it off.
You know what, next month I'll get there.
Right.
And 10 years from now, we haven't.
Right.
Yet there are people in the places where they not only gravitate,
they're eager.
They're eager. So why is it that way there and this way here?
That's a great question, and
great question, really.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I would love to talk about it more after
we can.
the break and tell you more about it.
Well, Ms. Cassandra, Shea, always a pleasure. And as a creative, we've seen your work, and maybe you let us talk a little bit about that as well. But when we come back, we'll talk more about Red Sky at night. I mean, it's this weekend, right? Saturday.
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. No, talk. Come to you. Keep talking. Talk. Thank you, Ms. I shouldn't do this to her. She's like, good thing I like you, but she's a camera racker, so she is a kind-hearted soul. I give her a warm time on air. She has said, we can keep talking.
Okay, perfect.
She's always so spectacular. Thank you, Miss Susan. All right, so we'll keep talking till, 4 o'clock? She didn't tell me. Woo! All right.
Forever.
This is why I think the camera should be on that side.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks to Miss Susan. We can continue chatting, Miss Cassandra. And I was asking that question. Now, you may choose to say, well, let's talk more about Weird Sky. We can talk about that. Because
right.
You choose, and I'm always a good conservationist as well as a conversationist.
Mm-hmm. But back to your question about the eagerness that people have in other communities to go to these spaces. Sometimes I think it's just about outreach. It's not frequent that you'll hear us from CNCF talk about on the radio about all of our cool projects, and the programs that we're bringing to the public's attention. So if you're part of the arts community, yes, you'll probably know about it. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it may be a little inaccessible. And so our role is that we would love to be able to have more voices and more eyes on storytelling and preserving Cayman identity through story, arts, television, media, and performing arts, and see where we can go from there.
It's interesting. I mean, as I listen, you're recognizing that, like anything, the onus sometimes is on us.
Right.
Your parent, are you not only making sure your child is protected and provided for, are you, by example, reading to and with your child, but also for your own benefit and enjoyment?
Right.
What about your exercise? Our child will see, and will they learn more from our doing than from our saying?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, if it's an event like Red Sky, maybe we need to come out and say, well, I didn't know this. And if there is a question or comment that we have in terms of how our contribution could improve the next iteration, are we willing to get involved?
Right.
So this is an opportunity.
It is. We do have a kids area that's going to be hosted by the Visual Arts Society, so kids could be able to learn a little bit more about their community, and it's easier to digest in that area. But we also have Cayman Turtle Center. They'll be doing demonstration and displays around the history of Cayman Islands and the Cayman Turtle Center. Mm-hmm. We also have the National Trust, National Museum, that will have a booth there to showcase, again, our rich history and the tapestry of Caymanian culture that we've been able to weave up until this point. And what?
No pun intended.
No, right?
I like that.
Right? The tapestry and weaving, because we do have a lot of thatch plaiting, a lot of thatch laying, and we've got Mr. Billy Banker and Ray Banker doing demonstrations on thatch rope, and how that's been made and how it's been utilized over the years. And, that's part of the Caymanian village. And that I think that's very important to talk about the anchoring of that event and that space, because we have traditional Caymanian houses and demonstrations. We've got maypole and quadrille performances. Like, that's very important and rich to our culture, So, again, talking about kids and being able to learn the history, I think, would be a great opportunity for them to see that.
All right. Well, as we speak to Ms. Cassandra, Shea over at CNCF. Now, you told me at the outset, I didn't write it down, so they're giving you a title. Shea of theaters and what theatrical production. Oh, tell me.
Right. So I'm the head of theater and festivals there at the Cultural Foundation. Yeah. So basically, I just want to make sure the Harkle has the AC running. But I'm there as a person to be able to facilitate these programs over the next year, and the years to come.
Yeah, as some will probably remember now, the Honorable Isaiah Rankin, when he was volunteering and doing the lights and the sound,
right.
Making sure the AC was on, the lights were working. You kind of doing that plus any other stuff.
Right, right. Mainly the AC though, because the weather.
Even this time of year, it's still kind of.
We're hoping for a nice little breeze to come out on Saturday. We are.
I'm joining you in that hopeful expectation. And for those who will come out, it's on the ground. So tell us about the logistics. What time? How do we access it?
Right.
Let's talk about that for a bit.
So we start at 4 p.m. and from 4 p.m. around 4:15, that's when a lot of the performances will be starting. So we do, encourage people to come out from the beginning. Vendors will be set up, and there's going to be a lot of vendors that you've already known, but even some new ones. Regarding parking, there is parking over at Cayman Bay with a shuttle that will be coming over, and of course there's street parking in the area, and for accessibility purposes, the main entrance will be where the gate is, and tickets can be purchased on the day of. But then they can also be purchased online, ticketplus.ky. So people can get the tickets there. Like I said, we want as many people to be able to come out. So we've made it very affordable this year. That means that it's $10 just for adults and $5 just for kids. And if you're 2 and under, you're free. So come on through. And that's kind of the layout of the day. And of course, at around 6:30, we'll be having the main stage start up.
Yes. So the sun is just
sun setting.
Almost,
There's going to be a lot of food. There's going to be a bar. So, get your dancing shoes ready.
You know what? Put on my dancing shoes. There must be a song about that somewhere. But this is where it can be a very festive time and a time to become more familiar with what is on offer and appreciate that as much as we might say, oh, it's a small community, not much to do. Well, do we avail ourselves of opportunities like this?
Right.
I can see the complement between the Cayman Arts Festival and this, and even though their festival will be ending, as sort of a capstone to that.
It is.
It's a Saturday, it's the second day in the month, but as we end this first quarter, what are we doing in hopeful expectation of to what will come for the remaining 9 months or so?
Yeah. And CAF Festival, we've partnered closely with them. Even last week, they were at our theater doing amazing work. And we will have them featured on our stage with Hartwell through John Gray High School's drama department. They'll be doing some of their pieces on stage at Hartwell. But we also, for the future, we have many other programming events coming up. Like I said, we've got What Happening and we've got Gimme Story. We have the NACA, so the awards, the national awards that we have coming up as well.
I'll leave Ray. I thought that you said to remind me when Ray shares, but I'll leave that for now.
Okay. So like I said, there's so many programs, and of course, just calling into the Hartwell Theater and calling into the Cultural Foundation, we were more than happy to share what our calendar is going to be looking like in the future.
And I mean, I know that the name Cassandra Shea resonates with many, in recognizing your talents, your time, off island, not just your training and working, but a name like Ray Banker. Also resonates very quickly and very identifiably, and we see his work. Why I say that is that I'm wondering again, as a society, as the Bellina sisters, together with their brother Roberta was sharing, if a society invests in its people, give them the opportunity, give them the support, and it's right there, and the family, the parents do likewise. Look at what's going to happen globally.
Just blossoms.
It does. Right? And here you are. You could use your intellect and ability and ambition and discipline anywhere, probably doing anything, but you're here doing this.
Right.
Do we embrace it? Do we celebrate it? Do we encourage it and nurture it? And do we use it as an example to inspire others?
Absolutely. I think that, that will be a great opportunity to be able to showcase, especially some of our younger Caymanians, like I said, on Hartwell, but we have in the Caymanian village, we've got Miss Rose May Ebanks, Deal Ebanks. These are people that we've seen in our communities, and being able to bridge the two, with the blossoming community of younger people who do leave the island, such as myself, and then come back, to be able to get that rich story and heritage together in one space is important. Because it can only blossom, and the identity and heritage can only blossom from that kind of collaboration.
That's it. And when we do that, we're not only sort of cementing our connection, or ensuring that thing which is uniquely us can be shared, celebrated, as we invite people to be a part of it. And the Cayman that I see and know and want is one that is not as my parents had, where they invited and welcomed people. It is that plus,
Yeah.
And that's what we can do.
Yeah, very multifaceted, like having that ability to show.
But it's so easy, though, I think, to dismiss it, to sort of say, well, I'll deny myself that opportunity because, I get it the next time, or and we do it, we justify without appreciating that we can't comment, as willingly and as knowledgeably if we're not there. It's kind of like the person who isn't a registered voter, for instance.
Right.
On election day, whether it's for a referendum or a general election or a by-election,
Right.
you can go and you can have your say.
Right.
If you're voting
Right.
because you're registered. But if you're not registered,
the voice is absent. Yeah.
Say all you want, but you don't matter at that particular time.
Right.
And we matter. We want us to matter.
Absolutely.
So with that, as we come out on Saturday, the Cayman Village, in the past there were, contingents. I remember, not just the Indian community, but that one in particular, the festive dress, the willingness not only for them to share with us, but I watched them interact and their appreciation, but with the greatest of deference to everyone else, the similarities.
Right.
That was striking. I remember the story where one particular community, how they would physically move the house. And I thought, I can see similarities here with how we do that, how the community helped each other. I can remember when we used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that we look at it, the more we are alike.
Absolutely. And finding that connection is important in our community. We're such a small island. We should definitely find those opportunities, especially during, this season, to connect and become one community versus, looking at the diversity and seeing the differences. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, well, thank you. And this is one of the things I've always enjoyed, with being in your presence. We get to appreciate. Think back to those of us who, whether it's father, the grandfather, older brother, the uncles, but primarily the men in our families, but they traveled, they applied the high seas, they saw the globe, from the bow of a boat, as it were. And they've come back with an education and knowledge and experience.
Right.
And they helped us to appreciate. That's what's uniquely, so Caymanian, so wonderful.
It is. And that tradition continues when we listen to our, older communities telling their stories, and then we share our stories, and then we continue that tradition of storytelling over and over. And I think that is very uniquely Caymanian too, and how we do that and the ways that we do.
I'll try not to embarrass some of the younger ones in my, sort of in my circle, but to listen to them tell stories that I know must have something that they heard from their fathers primarily.
Absolutely.
That was sort of told to their fathers by their father's father, that was told by their father's father. And you hear it, and if you were, sort of the grandparent, you hear the story from the grandchild, you can say, it's not quite exactly.
It's not the same.
Right?
Well, it dilutes, right?
Yeah. And there's a little bit of embellishment here and a little bit of added character there, but it's the same story.
Right.
And that's
true.
Yeah. That's the richness of the fabric, man.
The seed of that is is the same story and the same message.
Yeah. It's beautiful, huh?
That's amazing.
It is, and I'm hoping that as people look at Cayman, especially now with all that's happening globally, but all that's happening right here, this is the time to come together.
Absolutely.
And celebrate. And I think Red Sky gives us another opportunity to do that. So to you, fantastic team. Thank you.
Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing everybody out there on Saturday, and we're very excited to see the entertainers and the vendors. We couldn't do it without them, so thank them as well. I give a big thank you to everybody on the team, because it is a team effort. It is a community effort.
You know what? I hear people say it, and I go, okay, but it is true. The team makes a dream.
Yes, I love that.
And it's amazing that, if we work together, we're committed to a shared outcome that can be realizable, but also it can become one that is more enjoyable if we're willing to put in our effort. Not equal effort.
Nope.
If we were going into a room and we were going to be working on something creative, I'm sure your contribution effort will be much more than mine. But if I give 1% genuinely, that's 1% less that has to be found somewhere else. If I do 99%, we just need to find one right? But we need the 100%. And even though we may lack that 1%, that could be the 1% that is so significant that means whether or not the thing is achievable.
Definitely.
So we all got to give our all.
Absolutely. Right? And that 1% is everybody coming out to see us, because we couldn't do it without them either.
All right. So this Saturday for 4 p.m.?
Yes. 4 p.m. this Saturday until 11.
All right. See, you can get home before midnight and you don't turn back into a pumpkin.
Right. Cinderella. Absolutely. You can even get some shoes.
Put on your glass slippers.
Yeah.
Man, no. Come out, and it's going to be a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, Ms. Cassandra.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. hopefully we'll have an opportunity, you and your other colleagues, as the year rolls on, to come back and share with us.
I would love to.
All right.
Can't wait.
Thanks. Thanks to Miss Susan. Isn't she fantastic? I'm telling you. She's like, I was misbehaving earlier, so I got to try to be a little bit better behaved.
Right.
But try. I didn't say I was going to manage.
Okay.
I'm going to try. All right. So when we come back after the news break, we've got some more things to share, and we invite our listeners to rejoin us. Please stay tuned.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Sunday, March 3rd between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. for Watlers Road and portions of Helling Drive in Georgetown. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time.
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Cayman Islands Ministry of Tourism and Ports and Department of Tourism are pleased to announce that the Tourism Speak-Off has returned since the last in-person event in 2020. Applications are currently open for the qualifying public speaking video competition. Students ages 14 to 17 enrolled in a secondary school in the Cayman Islands are eligible to register and make a video submission for a chance to participate in the final and become the 2024 Tourism Ambassador. The 2024 Tourism Speak-Off takes place on Wednesday, May 1st of this year, and students must enter and submit their video entry by Friday, March 22nd. Good afternoon once again. I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, Republicans in Alabama will introduce a bill designed to protect access to IVF treatment after a court ruling cast doubt on its availability. The state's top court ruled earlier this month that frozen embryos have the same rights as children and people can be held liable for destroying them. While it did not ban or restrict IVF, it created a legal headache for clinics and some pulled their services. The bill is expected to be introduced in the Alabama Senate today. And Sean Combs has been sued by a music producer who has accused him of sexual assault and being forced to have sex with sex workers. Rodney Lil Rod Jones alleges he was a victim of unsolicited groping and sexual touching while he was working for the rapper on his latest album. This is the fifth lawsuit with sexual assault allegations against Sean Puffy Combs. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. You know, I got an opportunity by sitting in the facilitating each day to look and not just be reminded of the great things in society, but the opportunities for where, this country has come from, where it's going, and what we are. So, I wouldn't know how she said, Thomas Ebanks, Tommy Ebanks.
Both.
Sir Thomas. No, TCE Paint Shop. You guys hear the wonderful ads here on Radio Cayman, and that entrepreneur spirit that we see so evident in our community from that very young person who has that aspiration, ambition that she wants to one day own her own, medical practice or auto body shop, or that young fellow who sees that the world is indeed his oyster. We can grow. We can do it in our early, formative years, or we may decide when we're 15, 16 that we're now coming into our own, that we're going to venture out because nothing, sort of venture, nothing gain. So Tommy, congrats again on not just taking the helms on another venture, but through what we know is exciting times ahead. So welcome, man, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks, Dwayne, for having us.
All right.
I'd like to introduce my personal guest to Cayman for the week. None other than Miss Ashley Glaser, our account manager from Sherwin Williams for the Caribbean area and Guam. So welcome to Cayman, Ashley.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
Actually, Miss Ashley, just pull that mic. I joke and jest and say I didn't pay attention that much in biology or in geography. So I know Cayman is on the map, and I know the Caribbean area. So there's Guyana, there's probably Grenada, but there's no Guam. I think Guam is like, so you're going to have to give me the geography and how did Guam and the Caribbean come into it, Miss Ashley?
I wonder the same thing.
Well, you know what? If I use Excel or Word, I can cut and paste. I saw with hurricanes one time, you know, the states within the U.S., because of hurricanes, someone did a little joke to say, you know, Florida's going to move, and they tucked it up. So maybe this is cut and paste with the geography. You move Guam.
Yes, it's out in the Pacific Ocean, but you'd be surprised with how far away it is. The climate is very similar to the Caribbean. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming along. And, you know, Tommy, it's interesting that those of us who are homeowners, those of us who are in development, we always need good products. We always want something that helps us. And for some of us, we want to buy something because our fathers in particular would say, well, that's all he's ever used. So if you're going to buy paint, only this one. If you're going to buy from this place, that's it. But a product that stands the test of time, and it's not just through marketing and advertising, it's through research and development and actually application. So tell us about some of the stuff you got going on.
Well, today, since I have an expert here with me, I won't actually claim to know as much as she does because she's the person I rely on for information. But when I was actually looking to get into paint, which is something I always wanted to do, I researched to understand which would be the best product to sell. And of all the products I researched, Sherwin-Williams was number one and had been number one for many, many years from their inception, over 150 years ago. And they continue to lead the market in research and technology. And me coming from an architectural engineering background where I study methods and materials construction, you know, it's only natural that I would want to offer the best possible product to the people of the Cayman Islands. And hence my reason for venturing and trying to seek out Sherwin-Williams. And lucky enough for me, they actually gave me an opportunity to sell that here in Cayman. But today, since I have Miss Ashley with me, I'm going to just pass over to her so she can tell you a bit more about the products that we sell, our roofing products, our exterior wall products, our flooring products, and then, you know, just tell you a little bit about some of the research that they do. They have research facilities, etc. But I'll let her do the honors.
Thanks, Miss Ashley. Yeah, because I think the more we learn, the more we can be an informed consumer, and we can, whether we are conscious of it, but we can get value for money.
Sure. So I'd like to begin with our Uniflex roofing line. We have 3 new products that are available now at TC Paint Shop. Our first one is our Premium Elastomeric, which is formulated with 100% acrylic polymer to resist cracking and peeling, while also providing a waterproofing system. What's great about this elastomeric is that it's also available in a variety of tint bases. So we can have it tinted to whatever color your house, you know, previously had, or if you're looking to mix it up, we can also offer that with our Sherwin-Williams color system. We have our Silicone 44 if you're looking for more of a high solids rubberized system. That's also available today, as well as our One Flash sealant, which is a flexible waterproof sealant that eliminates the use of fabric reinforcement. And what's great about this product is it's available in both a 20-ounce sausage if you want to go ahead and spot treat, and also a 2-gallon pail. And that can be paired with the Silicone 44 system.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be like my brothers who actually know, but from you sharing, you know, sometimes that fabric that you thought has to go on so they can do the base, do the color. And then if we're applying something, it tends to be a little bit sticky. I think there's some of the products that go on in you got to get in there. So with your, it's called the sausage, right, the 2-gallon, how is the application? Is it more sort of water you can be sprayed on? Is it more that you have to, you know, get it on, rubber on, and then there's this rubberized approach to it when you're looking at both wall and roofing coatings?
Yeah, so all you need is a cheap little chip brush. We go ahead and we cut the bristles to about 2 inches, and you just spot treat applying it with that brush. It's very simple to use.
And it'll waterproof?
Yes.
Even me could probably do that, Tommy.
It's amazing. When I saw the demonstration, I mean, with just watching a video, You feel like you can go out there and do it. And what we did when we had our exhibit early this year or late last year, we actually had about 20 people from industry come in, and we had the people from Uniflex, the actual specialists, down demonstrating, and he actually invited 2 people from the public to just apply it, and they did it after watching him do it for a minute.
Okay.
So it's that simple to actually do, and the results are astronomical. We actually believe that this product, I have demos of it in my office where we actually took a coupling, laid it on a piece of plywood, applied the surface, the silicone 44 around the PVC coupling.
Okay.
And did it on the inside and the outside of the coupling. And within an hour, a 250-pound bodybuilder tried to pull it off and he couldn't get it off.
Huh.
It is an amazing product in terms of adhesion and basically sealing cracks and surfaces.
So, Ms. Ashley, with that example, I mean, are your products where there's a horizontal surface like a roof or a vertical surface like walls, could be used in both, say in that instance with the, as Tommy described?
Well, we would prefer it on a horizontal surface,
okay.
yes.
Right.
For roofing systems.
Yeah.
Horizontal, and it also works on
pitched
roofs as well, but not on vertical walls.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where knowing someone who knows about something with demonstrated experience can guide you. And it's one to experiment, but it's one to be very specific.
Yeah. So, yeah, we think this new product, as Ashley has told you all the properties of it, is an amazing product to the market. And we have one client who's actually going to be putting it on their roof shortly. We just got this in late last year. I think it came in December. And we're getting the first client to use it. Someone used it on some eyebrows that they had a problem with, and they've had great results. Now we're going to do a full 800 square foot home with it. And once we do that, then we'll have basically a client to actually give a testimonial about it and so forth, which we put up on our YouTube site to do a little advertising and so forth, because they currently have a leak problem with this roof. And we are sure that when we get through doing this, it'll be properly applied. And the benefit to doing this as well, before even doing it, we had 2 people from Cayman go up to a conference in Orlando and get certified in the installation, 2 contractors. So we can now recommend 2 people who are qualified to put it on.
All right. We're going to take the break, right, Ms. Susan? And then when we come back, Ms. Ashley, I'll have you share more, not just with the roofing, but talk about some of the exterior wall products they have. And gather from Ms. Paulette, Tommy, an award is to hand. Now, I don't know whether I'm the recipient, whether you got a share. So we're going to figure this out when we come back. All right. To our listeners, please join us right after the break.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I go and flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered. Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And it's a pleasure to have some positivity and through this discussion to encourage not only the entrepreneurial spirit, but to recognize that within our community we have fantastic opportunities for our businesses. So from TCE Paint Shop, as you listen to the adverts on Radio Cayman, Tommy Ebanks, thanks for joining us, and Miss Ashley Glaser for being a part of it. Because as Tommy shared, the notion that we can have the account reps, in this case, as you did for the Caribbean region, for Guam, to come and to bring that, I think you shared that expertise, that technical proficiency. It serves the local marketplace. They have an independent, objective perspective, not just selling but sharing.
Correct.
All right, I'm excited. I love the development, and architecture, and urban planning, and the like. And maybe in the next life, that might be my forte. Who knows? Toying between that and a chef, but we'll see. But it's not just about if you build it, they'll come. That thing you build must withstand the test of time. And the Cayman climate can be hostile to the eyes, the skin, and even the buildings.
Yeah, certainly.
All right, so take us through. What else do we have on offer, Miss Ashley?
So to jump in some of our new exterior top coats, we have two specifically that we'd like to share with the market. One of them being the Loxon self-cleaning, and the other one being our Emerald Rain Refresh. So what's really interesting about these two products is that they both offer excellent weathering protection, including resistance to UV rays, which is a problem that we face here in the Caribbean, while containing a formulation to be self-cleaning. So what exactly that means, this allows the product to shed dirt upon rain and water contact. This not only will give you a premium finish to your project, but also cuts down on maintenance time.
Yeah. As you I'm thinking, if you have a surface and through the weather, maybe just you doing your lawn, debris gets on it from the grass clippings to the mud, and then you're gonna be your hose. You gotta wash it down. You gotta scrub it, and that's not a Saturday morning chore I want to do. I can give it to Tommy. He can do it.
Yeah, I'll gladly do it. I enjoy doing it. But this paint basically allows for you to leave it, and as the rain comes, it washes it clean. We introduced this probably 2 years ago, and we've had one major bank take us up, and they had a dark blue border on the bottom, and they've been having problems with coatings for years. So they've actually bought the self-cleaning, installed it, and since they've done it 2 years ago, every time the rain comes, it washes it clean, and they're very happy with the use of it, and we're getting good reports from them, and they've referred other facilities to us to actually buy it, and a lot of homeowners have been investing in their house, because we look at coatings as an investment in your property. It increases the value of your property too when you notify your appraiser of the type of product you use. It's just like you're putting in a hurricane impact window and taking out a wind impact one. It increases the value of your house, and it also helps with the insurability and all that sort of stuff. So when you use great products on your house, or your facility, whatever it is, it's an investment, a long-term investment in your facility.
But actually, with that in mind, you talk about the maintenance and for many of us, whether we're the facilities management team or whether we're the homeowner, we're looking at the cost of the maintenance, but the time to do it. There is a factor that we should not dismiss. Now, whether it's the pressure washer that you have to use with a product to get it off, or whether it's a garden hose that may help if it's somewhat self-cleaning, hey, leave it alone, it'll come back and it'll do it itself almost. That's time, that's a peace of mind, that's something that you can sort of add to the bottom line. I didn't mean to rhyme there.
Sound like a poet.
I didn't even know it.
And if you're familiar with Rain-X,
Yeah.
that product, it has that similar hydrophobic property in it where the water essentially beads off the surface or the coating.
I like that word, hydrophobic. It's not just a fair water. No, but it is important because there's polymers in there that will help as it beads up, it'll come off, all right?
Right.
But then on a, say, concrete-like structure, one would think that would be more difficult for the grass, the soil that has sort of, after the torrential downpour, has now washed up against it. It'll come off quite easily.
It comes right off.
All right. Huh.
I've put it on my house a year ago, and I stay right next to a canal, 10 feet from a canal, 15 feet maybe. And I used to have a lot of alkaline streaking of the paint that I used previously. And once I put this on my house and treated the walls with an alkaline waterproofing prior to installing this paint, I've now not had to go outside to hose down the windows to get rid of stuff left by frogs, etc. You look out your window and it's gone after rain. It's like it's just been painted.
If I may
and
ask,
it's 2 years old now, almost.
We can see flat roofs needing not just the ceiling and waterproofing, like you reference about vertical surfaces like walls. But I'm thinking garage floors or maybe the design applications for your new warehouse looking industrial appearing restaurant or home. We know floor coverings can come in all shapes and sizes and materials, but some of us just like it. So is there anything that you have?
Yeah, we have numerous products. Miss Ashley will quickly tell you about them and why they work.
Okay.
So for exterior, we have our H&C line, which is our decorative concrete line that Sherwin-Williams offers. NTC carries a variety of those products already. They're now carrying our infusion line, which is a water-based concrete stain that comes in a semi-transparent finish. And with that being said, it comes in a variety of packaged colors that you can pick up at TC Paint Shop. So as we prepare for summer and outdoor barbecues, this is a great way to revamp your exterior concrete, your walkways, etc.
So if you have an existing, let's say, concrete patio, and you're toying with, well, what am I going to put on that for want of a better word, make sure I use it as a coating. You could just, I don't want to say paint it, but basically the application is akin to, painting your concrete floor.
Correct. And I mean, you can actually, once it's cleaned properly, we have cleaners, detergent cleaners, we have environmental friendly cleaners that you clean it first to get up all your oils and greases off of it. You leave it for 24 hours to dry out, and then you can apply these, any one of our H&C coatings, and we go from solid coatings to infusion coatings, which are basically marble-like looking limestone coatings.
Okay, and you say infusion, so let's say an existing structure, whether it's a patio or your garage floor, just that bare, concrete. That's perfect. It's been there 10 years, 20 years. Once it's in good structural shape, you can do it.
Correct. Once you clean it properly, dry it off properly, and we recommend that you test it, do a moisture test to ensure all the moisture is out of it. And it's a quite easy test. We can show you how to do it at the store. And basically, once the moisture is out of the slab, just put 2 coats, and we always recommend putting 2 coats because 2 coats gives you the manufacturer's, you're meeting the manufacturer's specification. A lot of people put down 1 coat, something fails, and they come back and say, well, this failed. Well, we ask them, did you do the 2 coats? No, we only did 1. Well, we recommend and we strongly recommend that you stick to what the manufacturer say you should do and do it the way they say it should be done.
Right.
And then you basically get the best results from your product.
Now, what about not just that existing slab, whether it's garage floor or your back patio or driveway? What about new construction? You know, you consciously, you're now building, you want something, but you're not going to pave it, you're not going to tile it, you want something else, and this is an option. But it's a new construction. I mean, it's going to be pouring a slab tomorrow, next week. What can we do?
These new solutions that H&C has is basically what a lot of people are doing rather than tiling floors now or putting marble on them. They're using infusion, which at the end of it, it looks like one big slate of marble. And I mean, you can do it in any color. It comes in 16 different package colors. We currently have only 6 in the store because you have different shades of each color. So we brought in one of each shade. So, you know, you can actually look at it that way. There's other epoxies. You can do water-based epoxies. There's actually Heavy Shield for your pools. There's Cool Feel, which basically is a product that goes down around the pool after proper preparation, and it basically reduces the temperature of the pool deck by 15 degrees. So it, you know, and it comes in all colors. Any color you pick on the Sherwin-Williams chart, I would say we can mix 90% of them. The darker ones we can't mix because it is only in deep base. It doesn't come in ultra deep. So the blacks and the dark grays and the blues and stuff is difficult to mix. But the lighter colors, we mix them all.
If I might, and I don't wish to put you on the spot, but I said engaged brain is a terrible thing to waste, right? You mentioned pool decks. Now we know pools, pool construction, and the materials they would use in the pool is different. We're just for clarity, we're talking about something that is not going to be inside the pool, but around the pool.
That's correct.
Your patio.
Yeah. I just didn't want anybody to.
No, we're not getting into pools, and we stay away from that. We tell you where you can go to get that material.
Safety around pools. No, and I didn't think the name would be misled, but we're talking about the pool deck, the patio, you know, the garage floor. If you want to keep your house floor, those things, but not
all those dry horizontal surfaces.
There you go. Good way to put it, sorry.
Yes, and just to touch on some interior floorings that we have our Armor Seal line. We have both the Armor Seal 1000 and the Armor Seal 650 SL. These are a 2-part system, and you can go ahead and use these on interior projects such as kitchens, hotels, indoor walkways. So you can contact Tommy with any questions regarding these 2-part epoxies, and he can go ahead and, with his experience, gear you to making the right decision between the 2 options.
If I might ask, Ms. Ashley, you know, two things. You know, one, we look at flooring surfaces and the idea of, you know, how they feel and the ergonomics and the like, you know, of spaces and use. But flooring sometimes they can be harsh on our feet. Any of these products are quote unquote somewhat rubberized, or are they just hard, solid surfaces when you put the coating on?
No, these are not rubberized surfaces.
Okay. Right. You would be obvious by this one. And then in the second one, we talk about indoor air quality and the notion of, you know, VOCs. And you mentioned a 2-part epoxy. But I understand that one of the wonderful things about this is that little or no VOCs.
No VOC.
Yeah.
Zero water-based epoxy.
Yeah, they're water-based.
Yeah. That was implied earlier when you shared it, and that's important because we create a sealed envelope. We want as much as we can to have the best indoor air quality, not just to avoid the sick building syndrome, but you're in there, you breathe in this air from your paints to your other adhesives. You don't want to introduce something else, so zero volatile organic compounds.
Yeah,
that's remarkable, Tommy.
I mean, Sherwin-Williams, like I said, their technology is amazing, and I try to carry 90% of what we carry is zero VOC. There is some commercial products that basically the market still requires that we do some oil base or enamel base,
right?
And those have a higher VOC, but they're still below the tolerable 0.4 VOC. So we do our best to even ensure that the oil-based stuff we use meets the MPI.
Is that okay?
Standards.
I think I even recognize that term.
Yeah.
It's been exciting to hear about the products, but I'm even more excited to allow the public to know something that I know. Thanks to Ms. Paulette for sharing. I want to say congratulations, but before I do, Miss Ashley, what am I congratulating Tommy about so the public will know?
So on behalf of myself and Sherwin Williams Corporate, TC Paint Shop was awarded with the 2023 Dedicated Dealer of the Year Award amongst our 16 partnership dealers all throughout the Caribbean and Guam. And he was gifted this award in January at our annual Dedicated Dealer Networking Conference. So Tommy is our 2023 Dedicated Dealer of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
People mightn't be able to see, but in my head there's a drum roll. And I say this with excitement and great admiration, and hopefully encouraging other businesses to recognize that this is a small market, geographically, so to speak, but we're competing regionally and internationally. And to be the recipient, not just, employee of the day or employee, this is for the year, deal of the year. Congratulations, man. Phenomenal achievement.
Well, to tell you, we were honored to receive it, and we thank our customers, each and every one of them, for coming out to us and supporting us. Without them, there would be no TCE. And, we continue to try to offer new products, meet their expectations, and meet new customers, old ones. We want to retain them, but we want to grow the business and meet new ones. And to that end, I'd like to say that last time I was here, I said that we would have an announcement pretty soon. Well, tomorrow, if all goes well, we'll be in Little Cayman to open TC Paint Shop number 3. And that'll be opening at the Village Square. And Village Square will be carrying Sherwin Williams products going forward. And we're happy about this. Again, it's a relationship with the Tibbetts family, formerly of Cox. And they're a great family, and everyone the Tibbetts family know that they look to give the public the best, and we're hoping to partner with them to do that.
This is where, the strength and unity when we come together. To our listeners, I also understand that Thursday morning, or the premier business show in the country, the Buzz, you're going to be on it as well.
Oh, yeah, we're looking forward to visiting with the Buzz.
Yeah, on Thursday. And it is part of the Radio Cayman spirit to be that reach and voice for our community, and as we celebrate with our businesses and with our students and the opportunities that are here. There's so much that we have to look at and be proud of. So, congratulations, man, from the Radio Cayman family, from me personally.
Thank you.
Just continue to hold the bar high and to excel.
Yes, and it was an honor to stand there with 10 to 15,000 other dealers from Central America, North America, Canada. You don't realize how big the family is, but when you get talking to people and they keep sharing their testimonies and so forth, it makes you honored to represent a company like Sherwin Williams.
All right, well, I know Tom would agree if we offer Miss Ashley's final words, right? And congrats, and thank you. Anything finally you want to share today with our listeners here?
No, thank you for having me on the island, and I look forward to all of my future visits this year with TCE and growing their business in Little Cayman. That'll be my first time there tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it. And we're honored, my team, to work with Tommy and his team. It's been great, and we look forward to a strong 2024.
All right, well, I pray that you'll be successful. I think tomorrow would be Tommy's first visit for tomorrow to Little Cayman. My public prayer is that you have a very safe flight across and then a safe flight back when you return as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. Well earned.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cayman Islands.
Discipline, dedication, and hard work, and honesty and integrity in what we do reap much success, not just the financial, but more importantly, what the society will say of people while they're here and when they depart. So keep it up, man. Keep it up.
We'll try.
All right, what are we going to do tomorrow, Miss Susan? She said we'll figure it out tomorrow. What I want our people to do today is be thankful. Give thanks with a grateful heart. I say be mindful of where we are and who we are and what we have to give. Let's receive it with a joy, with a spirit, of understanding, and as we recognize what has transpired, understanding that it is unprecedented, but it can, in fact, reoccur, and it won't if we come together as a people. Hold each other accountable as you accept responsibility for your own endeavors. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Sunday, March 3rd between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. for Watlers Road and portions of Helling Drive in Georgetown. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
You're listening to Radio